UFC 247 took place Saturday in Houston, and with two championship fights atop the card, we got two very different results. Of course, in the main event, Jon Jones defends his light heavyweight title against Dominic Reyes in one of the closest fights we've ever seen Jones in. Retains that belt by the skin of his teeth. Unanimous decision in a fight many people do believe Jones lost. It was ultra competitive, but the judges thought he did do enough to keep that belt, and now Jones has set the record for most championship fight victories in UFC history with his 14th. A lot of demand for an immediate rematch with Reyes coming out of this fight. I can definitely understand the line of thinking there. This was a really, truly close fight, and Reyes, in the minds of many and me watching the fight live, I did have it 3-2 for Reyes, but I could see the argument for Jones winning as well, and I could see the argument for a rematch, but I think Jones is probably going to want to look forward to a new challenge immediately. I think if you get each guy one win, another title defense for Jones, it makes that rematch all the bigger sometime down the line, and I think that's ultimately the route Jones and his team are going to want to go, and probably the UFC as well. Dana White did say the door is open for a rematch, but he didn't necessarily say it would be something that happens right away, and we do have other contenders in line. There's the potential move up to the heavyweight division as well, but 1 week from now, we do have a big-time light heavyweight fight between Corey Anderson and Jan Blachowicz, the main event of UFC Rio Rancho, and I think the winner of that has definitely done enough to warrant a crack at UFC gold. I think that's ultimately the avenue that they end up going, giving the winner of that. Depends how the fight plays out, of course. If it's a very bad performance by either guy in a winning fashion, there won't be that much zest, that much hype for a fight between either Blachowicz and Jones or Anderson and Jones, so we'll have to see how that really unfolds, but I think as far as things go now, that'll probably produce Jon Jones's next opponent. And in the co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko, no controversy, no close fight here. She absolutely dominates Kaitlyn for a third-round TKO to defend her women's flyweight title for the third time. Shevchenko, one of the most dominant fighters in the entire sport right now. She had her way from start to finish, doing pretty much anything she wanted before finishing the fight with strikes in the third round, and she is looking quite untouchable. But the thing about Shevchenko is she really wants to be this active, dominant champion, and I think she's doing all the right things. Yes, the Amanda Nunes fight, a potential move up, a potential strawweight champion like Vali Zhang moving up and challenging her is something that could happen, but I think right now she is focused on the contenders and her weight class. After the fact, she did mention three names that could be interesting for her in Jennifer Maia, Roxanne Modafferi, and then I think the most deserving person, Joanne Calderwood, and I think that is the direction they go. Calderwood on a nice run right now in the division, coming off some quality wins of her own, and she has been waiting and pursuing that title fight for a long time. She's the first fighter to ever win a UFC women's flyweight fight a few years ago, and she has done some good work in the division then. So I don't know if this is necessarily going to be one of those big headlining, money-grabbing fights, but it's something that Shevchenko wants to keep doing, defending her title against the next available contender. So I think if you're looking at who deserves it the most, who has put in the best work, I think Calderwood is your fighter to make that shot happen. We will see the timeline. Shevchenko said she wants to be busy. She took essentially no damage in this fight, so I think whenever she is ready to go, whenever the UFC can make it work for her schedule and their schedule, they're going to put her in there as soon as they can, and I think Calderwood is the opponent we see. So again, two very different results in these two title fights at UFC 247, but still some interesting matchups to come for both champions, Jon Jones and Valentina Shevchenko, coming out of this event.